I remember the exact moment I received his first email. It was a Tuesday morning. I was running late for work. I spilled coffee on my white shirt. The train was delayed. I was not in the mood to check my inbox, but something made me pause. The subject line said, "To my favorite stranger, email #1." At first, I thought it was spam, but when I opened it, there was only one sentence inside. "One day, you will understand why I wrote this." There was no name, no signature, no introduction, just that sentence, and nothing else. I stared at the screen, confused. Then I laughed. Probably some weird internet game. I deleted it. The next week, I got another. "Email #2, don't delete this one just yet." This time, it was longer. "I know this must be strange. I know you're wondering who I am. But this isn't a scam. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. Just your time. 5 minutes once a week. That's all." I almost deleted it again. But I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe it was the way it was written. Soft, careful, not dramatic. Like a letter left in a book you borrowed from the library. Still, I told no one. The third email said, "I saw you once, years ago. You dropped your phone on the subway and no one helped. But you smiled anyway." That smile stayed with me. I felt my heart pause. Had someone really seen that? I remembered the moment. Barely. I had been on my way to a job interview. I had dropped my phone. People walked past. I picked it up, smiled to myself, and moved on. No one had noticed. But someone had. And now, they were writing to me? I started checking my inbox every Tuesday. I didn't reply. But I read. Each email was different. One week, he shared a short story he wrote in high school. Another week, a poem about a lost dog. Some weeks, just thoughts, lonely thoughts, deep thoughts, simple ones, strange ones. Do you ever feel like you're being watched by your own past? Why do we say we're fine when we're breaking inside? I saw a tree grow through a broken sidewalk today. It made me think of you. At first, I thought this was a game. But then, something changed. One email hit too close. "You don't talk about your mother, do you? But I think you still miss her. The way she folded your scarf before school. The way her hands smelled like tea leaves." My hands started shaking. How did he know? My mother passed away when I was 19. I hadn't spoken about her in years. Not even to my boyfriend. Not even to my therapist. No one knew about the scarf. No one knew about the tea leaves. I slammed the laptop shut. I didn't sleep that night. I stopped opening his emails. 3 weeks went by. 4. They still came every Tuesday like clockwork. Subject lines like, "Email #24 still here. Email #25 just in case you come back. Email #26 I can wait." I didn't read them. I couldn't. Because deep down, something was starting to scare me. This wasn't a game. This wasn't some bored internet stranger. This person knew me. Knew things no one else did. Things I had buried. And it made me feel seen. And being seen felt dangerous. So I ignored the emails. I deleted them without opening. Until email #27. Subject, "Please read this one." I don't know why I did. Maybe I missed him. Maybe I missed the feeling of being understood. I clicked. "Do you remember the glass swan on your windowsill? The one your mom gave you when you were 10? The one that broke when your dad slammed the door and left? I saw you pick up the pieces that night. You held them in your hand and whispered, 'I'm okay.'" I dropped my coffee. I was sitting in my kitchen, phone in hand, when I read that line. How? How could someone know that? That moment wasn't in a photo, wasn't in a diary. I never told anyone. I hadn't even thought about it in years. I stared at the screen for a long time. He wasn't just someone who noticed things. He was someone who had watched my life from the inside. The next Tuesday, I didn't wait. I was already checking my inbox at 7 a.m. Email #28 arrived right on time. But it didn't feel like the others. Sometimes I think I should tell you who I am. but I also think maybe you already know. No, I didn't know. I tried to imagine. Was it a childhood friend? An old classmate? An ex I had forgotten? No, it didn't fit. The way he wrote, it wasn't romantic. It wasn't flirtatious. It wasn't angry. It was protective, like someone who had always been nearby. Then came email hash 29. Do you remember the boy who sat in the second row of your ninth grade history class? He always had ink on his fingers. He never spoke to anyone, but he always watched the way you tucked your hair behind your ear when you were nervous. My heart skipped. I remembered that boy. His name was Ethan. Quiet, small, always alone. One time he dropped his pen and I handed it to him. He didn't say thank you, just stared at me with big, sad eyes. I never spoke to him again. Not because I didn't want to, but because I forgot he existed. That was me. The email continued. I know it sounds strange, but that one small moment, that pen in your hand, it stayed with me. When I had no friends, no voice, no hope, I remembered you. I stared at the screen. I felt sick. How many people had I walked past in life without knowing I left a mark? He went on. When I found your name online 5 years ago, I hesitated. I didn't want to disturb your life. But I also knew if I waited any longer, I'd disappear completely. So I wrote to you, one email, then another, then another. I never expected you to write back. I just wanted to give something to someone who once gave me a moment of kindness when I had nothing. Thank you for the pen, for the eye contact, for existing. The next Tuesday, no email came. I checked all day. Nothing. Not in spam, not in trash, not in promotions, just silence. It felt louder than the emails ever did. On Wednesday, still nothing. Thursday, Friday, a whole week. I had never replied to him, not once. But I felt like I had lost someone. Someone who had been quietly walking beside me every Tuesday for 5 years. And now, he was gone. That weekend, I searched my email archives. I read every single one again. Slowly, line by line, I printed them, folded them, put them in a showbox like old letters. I realized something. He had never asked for anything. He had never expected me to answer. He just gave stories, thoughts, confessions, poetry, memories. And somewhere in those hundreds of emails, I started seeing my own reflection. He had remembered pieces of me that I had forgotten, moments that I thought didn't matter to anyone, moments I thought were small. But to him, they weren't. And suddenly, I felt the weight of everything I'd missed. Every person I walked past, every conversation I rushed through, every small kindness I could have given but didn't. Then came Tuesday again. This time, an email appeared. Subject, email hash 261, the last one. I hesitated. I clicked. If you're reading this, thank you. I don't know if you've read them all. I don't know if you've ever remembered me. That's okay. I wrote these not because I needed to be remembered, but because you reminded me I existed. I've been sick for a while. I didn't want to tell you. It didn't feel right to make this about me. But now I don't know if I'll be here next Tuesday. So I'm writing this one as a goodbye, but not a sad one. You gave me a reason to write, a reason to think, a reason to believe that one tiny moment of kindness, one pen handed over, one smile could live forever. And maybe if you read this, maybe I did live forever. Just a little. I didn't cry when my mother died, but I cried now. I wrote back. The only email I ever sent him. Ethan, I'm so sorry I forgot you. I didn't know I had left a mark, but you left one on me too. Thank you for giving me Tuesdays. Thank you for reminding me to see people. I hope wherever you are now, you know you mattered. You still do. I never got a reply, but maybe he read it. Maybe he smiled. It's been 2 years. Every Tuesday, I still open my inbox at 7 a.m. It's quiet now. But I keep a folder titled Ethan. Sometimes when the world feels too fast, too cold, too empty. I open a random email and I remember not just Ethan, but the power of words, the power of being seen, the beauty of showing up quietly over and over again for someone who doesn't even know they matter to you. Sometimes I wonder if I should write someone now. Someone random. Someone I saw smile on a train once. Someone I sat next to in class. Not because I expect anything back, but because someone once taught me. Even one small moment can become someone's whole reason to stay. Some stories aren't just for learning English. Some stories are for remembering how to feel. If you've made it to this point in the video, you already know this wasn't just about a mysterious email or an old memory. It was about something much deeper. The silent power of being seen, the invisible weight of a forgotten kindness, and the echo of a voice that refuses to disappear. When we created this story, he sent me one email every week for 5 years. We didn't want to just teach you vocabulary. We wanted you to feel the words, to sit with them, to ask yourself questions you might not have asked in years. Because that's what powerful stories do. They don't just stay in your head. They stay in your heart. Have you ever studied a word 100 times only to forget it the next day? But then one line from a movie, one sentence from a song, one paragraph from a book sticks with you for years. That's not memory. That's emotion. Our brains forget rules, but they remember what hurts. They remember what heals. They remember what feels true. That's why stories like this matter. Because when you read a line like, "You gave me a reason to write, a reason to think," you're not just reading English. You're reading yourself. Too often, learners are told, memorize grammar, pass the test, get the certificate. And yes, those things are useful, but they're not why we speak. They're not why we learn. We learn English so we can say, "I miss you. I forgive you. Please don't leave. I remember you." We learn English to connect, to be human, to mean something in someone else's world. And that's why we tell these stories. Because emotional storytelling is not just entertainment. It's a lesson in courage, in connection, in being real with language, with memory, with yourself. After writing this story, I asked myself something hard. Who have I walked past without noticing? Who did I forget while they remembered me? Sometimes we think the moments we share with others are small, but to someone else, it might be the moment that saved them. It might be the pen you picked up, the smile you gave, the silence you respected. You may never know, but it doesn't mean it didn't matter. This story is a reminder. You have no idea how deeply you might live in someone's heart. When I started Tailcrafter English, I met learners who said, "I don't sound native. I'm afraid to speak. My grammar is bad. My accent is ugly. I don't know the right words." But here's the truth. Nobody remembers your grammar. They remember your honesty. If someone wrote you one email every week for 5 years, would you care if their English was perfect? Or would you care that they remembered your scarf? That they saw your pain? That they stayed? Fluency is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about having the courage to say something real, even if it's broken, even if it's slow, even if your hands shake while typing. Especially then. Here at Tailcrafter English, we believe in one thing above all else. Fluency begins in the heart, not the mouth. Before you can speak like a native, you have to feel like a person. Someone with pain. Someone with hope. Someone with memories that deserve to be spoken. That's why every story we create is built with 3 goals. Make you feel. Make you remember. Make you speak with soul. Because when language becomes part of your emotions, it stops being homework. It becomes home. Maybe you've never written someone back. Maybe you've never told someone what they meant to you. Maybe right now there's someone out there who's waiting for you to say, "I didn't forget you. I still remember. I'm sorry. Thank you." That's what stories like this are for. To help you find those words. to help you remember that it's never too late. Not to learn English, not to say what matters, not to become the kind of person who sends letters when no one else will. Now, it's your turn, not just to practice, but to reflect. Who helped you when no one else did? What kindness have you never said out loud? What words have you been carrying in silence? Write them down. Speak them out. And if you can, say them in English. Not because English is better, but because every time you speak it, you're proving something powerful. That your story deserves to be told. That your feelings are bigger than fear. That your voice matters across countries, across cultures, across time. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video to let us know you felt something. Comment your thoughts, your stories, your unfinished emails. Share this video with someone who needs a reason to believe in words again. Subscribe to Tale Crafter English and join a community that learns through empathy, not just exercises. Every week, we bring you stories that matter. Stories that make your English better, but more importantly, make your life richer. Because this isn't just about language. It's about becoming someone who notices, someone who remembers, someone who writes the first email, even if no one answers back. See you in the next story. Until then, keep speaking, even if your words are small, even if your voice shakes, even if all you say is, I'm still here.